Hi, this is Chris Howard once again, CEO and founder of the Academy of Wealth and Achievement and the creator of the Breakthrough to Success seminar and this free video training series, where I had the opportunity to really share with you some of the concepts that have made a profound impact in my life. And in this training video, I'm giving you the big picture in terms of transformation. Now, I've had the good fortune of working with thousands and thousands of people all over the world, coaching them to produce the kind of result that they want to produce in their life. I've been in this field for 15 years now, and in that time I've identified some core things which, if we get these things in place, can allow us to break through almost any challenge and increase our performance in any area. And so we're going to start with this big picture. Throughout our entire training series, we're going to take a look first at where you are currently in your life. That's one of the most important things. One of the most important things you can do in terms of transforming your results. You know, if you're a champion, you understand what your strengths are, but you also understand your weaknesses. And you have the willingness to polish up every weakness until it becomes your greatest strength. So, if you're not making the kind of money that you want, and you're not out there chasing your passion or following your dreams, or you don't have the kind of relationship that you want, I know how that feels. It can be frustrating, and it can be lonely, and it can even be depressing. I get it. I've been there. But I'll tell you what. Changing your life can happen in an instant, like we said before, when you've got the right tools. Right now, here's what I want you to do, is just stop for a moment and think of an area of your life and really go through this, because that's what makes all the difference in the world. You have to go through this part. So I want you to stop and I want you to think of an area of your life that's not working for you. And I don't know what it's going to be, if it's going to be career or finances or relationships or health, you know, an area where you're not, when I say that it's not working for you, you're not getting the results that you're capable of at all. Think of an area like that. Think of an area of your life where if maybe you don't make a change, it could lead to disastrous results. Some area, whether it be physically, emotionally, spiritually, or financially. Just get it in mind. And maybe it's your finances. Maybe you don't like the amount of money that you have, or the amount of money that you make. Maybe it's your relationships. Maybe you don't have one, or maybe you don't appreciate the way that you're interrelating in your current relationship. Maybe it's your weight. Maybe you don't feel like you have the energy or the vibrancy that you want to have. And as you consider that area right now, pick the biggest problem area of your life. Really get it in mind. And if you're a positive thinker like me, and I know we're all positive thinkers, you say, well, of course I'm going to change it. But the reality is, let's just take a realistic look at things for a second here. What would happen if you didn't change it? So think of that problem area in your life, and I want you to fully consider what would happen if you didn't change it. Like, what would happen if you made no changes in that area of your life at all? Some people say, oh, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, okay. Well, how fulfilled would you be if you made no changes in that area of your life? And when you think about that area, imagine there are no changes. I want you to take it out, if you have to, take it out to 3 years. Imagine 3 years in the future having not made a darn change in that area of your life. Are you going to be more alive and more happy, or more satisfied, or less alive, or more resigned, or, you know, having given up in somehow in that area of your life? And then project it out 5 years, about 5 years, and think about that area of your life. What would happen? What would be the effect of making no changes in that area of your life where you're really having the most challenges? What would be the cumulative effect over 5 years? Really imagine what that would be. Really go through this process and think about that. What would happen if you made no change in that area? 5 years in the future, okay, what would happen? What would happen physically, emotionally? Would there be a spiritual toll or a financial toll? How would it impact you? How would it impact your children if you have children? How would it impact the people around you if this area where you're really stuck, if you didn't make any change? You know, they say that awareness is the first step to change. So if we become aware that there's even a problem, or aware of the impact of the potential impact, that's what I meant to say, of the problem. That's the first step to doing something about it. And the great leader is the person who has the capacity to see things the way that they are, from a reality check perspective, see things the way that they could be, and then close that gap rapidly. And you're going to be learning how to do that in this training series. So now, as you really consider this area of your life, and we say, well, what if you didn't make a change? Well, now just suppose for a moment that you found the solution. Just suppose the problem's solved. You know, how would your life transform if the problem were to simply disappear? All of our problems are problems of imagination. All of our solutions are solutions of imagination. So just suppose that you found the solution to the problem. I want you to consider how that would change your life. How would your life now change, like right now? If the problem just completely disappeared, what would you be doing differently? Consider that. If that problem disappeared, what would you be doing? And what would you be seeing differently? Like, what types of things would you be seeing around you? You know, how would you be thinking differently? What different types of conversations would you have with people? Imagine that. If this problem were to disappear today, what types of conversations would you have with people, and with who? Okay, now I want you to take that concept and then just take it out a few years. Just suppose you found the solution now to this problem, and 3 years in the future, what would you be doing 3 years from now as a result of no longer having that problem? What would you be creating? What would be going on in your life? What kind of life would you be living? And then take it out even further. Take it out 5 years into the future and look around at your life. 5 years in the future, having found the solution to the problem. What's one great thing that you'd create if you were to find that solution? What's one great thing 5 years in the future? Imagine, just one thing. Now I want you to give yourself the task of rating on a scale from 0 to 10, with 0 being least important, 10 being most important. How important is it to you to have a breakthrough in this area right now? So 0 is least important, 10 is most important. And if you're not at a 10, do whatever it takes to get yourself to that 10, because that's where you need to be. We got to take this serious. Remember, we said awareness is the first step to change. And how much you're going to throw yourself into this training program will be the difference that makes a difference in terms of your results. It's kind of like a refrigerator. You only get out of it what you put into it. So we identify what's an area of your life that you have to change. And I'd like you to just consider, what would it be worth to you if you were to make that change? Think about that for a second. When you think of all that you would achieve over the next 5 years, if you were to put a dollar value on that, if that problem disappeared, put a dollar value on that over a 5-year period of time. How much would it be worth to you? Is it thousands? Is it millions? See, only you would know that. And you know it inside. I don't need to tell you what that number is. But here's the big picture of what we're doing here. Whenever we're looking to make transformation, and that's what we're looking for in this training series, is transformation. We're taking a look at where we are. We're taking a look at where we want to be, and we say, how do we close that gap? What are those things, those barriers, those things that stop us from creating what we want? And once we're able to identify those barriers, then what we're going to do is use tools for accelerated human change. And once again, we are the leaders in the field. We are the largest company on the planet teaching these sciences today and certifying people in these sciences today. And I'm so thrilled to have the opportunity to share with you many different techniques. You know, they're like tools in a tool belt to break through every given type of challenge that you could possibly come up with. So for example, Phil Anderson, when he first came into the program, he was managing a gym. And he came up to me and he said, Chris, and he was really frustrated. I remember him coming up to me in the live Breakthrough to Success program. And he said, Chris, I can't see breaking myself out of the day-to-day operations to get out of the gym and do the things that I really want to do in life, the things that would really, give me joy. And I got it. I got where he was coming from. And quite frankly, a lot of people feel like that. A lot of people. You know, he says, you really help me he says, how can I make the money? How can I live the kind of life that I want to live? So a lot of people feel trapped in a job where they work and they sell their time, and at the end of the day, they feel like they're no further ahead than they were yesterday. And if you're in a place like Phil was, or even if you're playing a larger level, but you feel like you could be playing at an even bigger level, consider this. Once Phil identified his constraints at the unconscious level, the things that were keeping him back, he realized he just wasn't thinking big enough, and he wasn't leveraging himself and using other people's money and using creativity inside his deals. So we helped him to pinpoint all these things, both at the conscious level as well as the unconscious factors that were holding him back. Now he broke through those, and in the next year, his net wealth increased in 1 year by $2 million. $600,000 of which, did you hear that number? $600,000 of which he made in a single day by modeling a strategy of Donald Trump. What some of the things that we're going to be doing here. Now, this is what I mean when I talk about upgrading the software of your mind.